Alrighty, here we go. All right, everyone. So you're going to start out with kind of the normal Gravit setup. I got 8.5 by 11 here set up. Good to go. Then you're going to go ahead and grab your photo, which was right here a second ago. I promise you. Maybe it's in my downloads. There we go. All right, so this is the photo that I have. It's not the ultra best photo, but it'll do for what we need it for right now. So you can be making a face. Obviously, that's kind of a weird one. But it'll do, right? Am I not presenting to you guys? You guys got to let me know, man. All right, here we go. This is my weird face. This is what we're working on. So just one thing I want to point out before I get started. So we only have one image in our Gravit right now. You can lock it or you can not lock it. Either one is fine, but I just want to point out that there's a little eyeball here next to that photo that you can turn on and off. So if you want to see the photo, you can. If you don't want to see the photo, you can do it that way as well. So we are essentially going to be outlining, tracing the darkest parts of your face. We're going to try to create a vector drawing of your face, and usually that happens by outlining the darkest parts first. We're going to start with hair because pretty much on almost everyone that's the best place to start. You are going to have to zoom in a little bit close, almost uncomfortably so. So apologies for you having to stare at my weird face for the next however many minutes. But we're going to be outlining the hair to begin with, as I said before. I'm going to start from the outside, go around, and then once I get back down to the outside, I'm going to come back up and finish up tracing kind of that way. But we are going to go slow. We're going to take our time, try to get as much of this detail in as we can. So I'm going to start right down here, right at the sideburns. So I'm going to start clicking and dragging. We all kind of remember how the pen tool works. It is important to get a good amount of detail in here. Try not to use super long swooping lines, although usually that's what the pen tool is best for. To make this work, especially if you want to get the hair looking accurate and not like a helmet, you are going to have to kind of do a lot of clicks in here, a lot of clicks and dragging to try to get an accurate representation of what the hair looks like. So I'm really trying to map out each little dip, each little like kind of area along the hair, trying to be as accurate as I can. If I come to a spot where there's kind of like a swoop here, so I'm going to try to map that out a little bit. And what I like to do is do these kind of like kind of spikes. They're almost like waves. I don't know. Tends to work. But what that does is it allows you to kind of see the pattern in the hair rather than just like one big mass. It kind of helps you to see kind of what the hair is doing. So kind of following the hair as it's parted, sort of. So kind of looks like this. It's not very smooth. I'm going to redo that. So I'm going to use Command Z. I'm going to press it a couple times. I'm going to try to get a really smooth curve. As best I can. That's better. There we go. Come around back. One trick too, if you want a sharp point, you can always click directly on the anchor point that you just made. Like, so if you have a long handle sticking out down here, you can actually click directly on that and it will get rid of that for you, which is kind of handy, depending on what you're doing. So as you can see, I'm really taking my time, trying to go around, get all these details in here as best I can. And again, and try to get a sharp turn there. Got these little wily guys. Why not? They're here, so we're going to draw them. Real thin. So right now, I am drawing kind of like it's got a stroke on it, it's got a border to it, but eventually we are going to get rid of that. So even though right now we have a little bit of this kind of thick line going on, we won't have that forever. So we're kind of coming down to the outside, trying to get all these details in here. We got kind of a light section right here where my ear is. We're going to try to be as true to that as we can. Again, trying to capture all the different hair directions as best as you can. 1 second. And get that going. So now, just no matter how weird your hair is down here, just try to capture it exactly how you see it. I have a weird hairline, and now you can see where my image is a little dark, right? It's kind of hard to see. That was a mistake. So I'm going to try as best I can to outline these details as accurately as I can. All right, and what you get when you do that, hopefully, will be at least a semi-accurate representation of your hair. Now, we're not going to leave it white. We're going to get rid of the border, clicking on the eyeball. I'm also going to make this black. So you want to do this black and white. Eventually, you can change the color if you'd like. But for now, we're just going to stick with black and white. It's the easiest way. And now we want to see what we've done. So we have our path, which when you highlight over it, you can see there's a lot of different anchor points there, a lot of places to look, a lot of points of interest. But then when you click on this photo and click on the eye, right, you should be able to see what you've created. So that's pretty much what we're trying to do today, maybe a little bit of tomorrow. Just try to map out where that hair is. And again, you know, just bringing your attention again to like a lot of the details over here on the side. Hair typically isn't super smooth, right? There's a lot of details that pop up, even some on the internal, like if you're trying to kind of show that you have your hair going in a specific way, even the flyaways, right? You can add those as well. But we're going for something that looks sort of like this. Obviously, your hair is different, but just